Hi, Chento, and apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. I went in today and was going to try to update these shapes as we discussed in email, but I'm still having a little trouble here, and I thought maybe the best thing to do here would be actually explain how to do the work and then to give you the shape of libraries that have created thus far so they're in your account, and then you go in and make the adjustments. So I want to kind of cover that process right here. So I have this PDF in the background that you provided to me, and I've also added a shape that I had created onto the screen. If I look at this PDF, it says 66. I'm assuming that's centimeters. And so what I've done is dropped my shape onto the screen. I had it in here. I dropped it on the screen and set it up so one of these links, that length right there, is 660 millimeters. And you can do that by calibrating. So I'm going to show you that first. In the lower left corner, I have this calibrate button. I'm going to click on it. I've already done this once, but I'm going to do it again. And how I do that is I just pick a length here. And since it's already been calibrated, it's the correct amount. But in your case, you might do that and find it's another another length, and you can go ahead and calibrate it. So once I've typed in what I want, I go like this and there. So now I have one side of it is 66 centimeters. So it should be, I'm going to go measure this other one. If I did this correctly, this should also be, yep, so that one's the same. So now that it's sized appropriately, the next step that you would do is to define snapping points on it. I can define snapping points on it now, and I actually have on this one, but when you resize shapes, you're going to have to save those shapes a second time. And so part of that process would be saving the shape and then putting those snapping points on. So I'm going to do that. So let's say I just want to take this shape I've already got, and now I want to save it. So I'm going to come over to the left. In the center, there's an icon called Create Shape. I'm going to tap on it. I can go ahead and name it, and I don't remember the name here, but I'm just going to put a letter there. You provide a name for it that will appear in the UI inside the app. I'm going to toggle on that one right there, that remember size and unit. What that does is make sure that when the next time it gets dropped in, it'll be, again, that 66 centimeters for that particular part of it. Once I've done that, I can just come and tap right on the image itself, and it's going to bring up the image in a larger screen. And so at this point, all I do is define spots where I want the shape to snap to other shapes. So in this case, I'm going to just put some snap points on the ends like that. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on the Done icon in the top right corner. Oh, and if you make a mistake and you put something in the wrong spot, you can either do the Undo button in the top, or you can select it again, and at the bottom you'll see a Delete icon. So once you've got the snapping points set the way you want them, you click on the Done up here in the top corner, and then you just click the Create button at the top, and now that shape will be in your shape library. So I'm going to go back in here, and if you look, now I have the original one, the hose stuck, and then the newer one that I created called 2. So you're going to follow that process with each one of these shapes to define the size and the shape, and the snapping points. If I do one more, I'm going to pick one, drop it on the screen. Well, I won't do that one because that one's not on this PDF. So let's find another one that's on this PDF. So this guy right here is on this PDF. Correct? Yeah. Okay. And this is actually one of the reasons why I didn't complete this, because I'm not entirely sure of the size of this one. But let's assume that again, let's see, is that? So maybe I'm going to take a measurement and see how long this, so I'm not sure what the size is. But again, you can go through the process of tapping on the Calibrate button, coming and now picking a line that you want to choose, and let's say It's going to show up as 774.8. Let's say that again, this is 66. So I'm going to convert that. And now when I come and measure it, it'll be that 660. So I would then select it, come to create shape, give it a name, tab that on, and I can either tap on the image or this edit snap points link at the bottom, and it's going to bring it up. And again, I can pick some snapping points, and I'm done. So once you've created those shapes and defined them with a size and snapping points, then you're essentially done. Let's see, what next? Oh, so the other part to this, I want to talk about how the tool is working today, and I'm going to show it here. Then I'm going to flip over to another account where I can show you how it's going to work next month, because we're coming out with a new version, and it actually is a very useful and upgrade for you guys. So my understanding now from looking at this is you're going to be running links of these pieces, and then you need to put the connector pieces, and then lay down the, I guess what, I'm going to come back in here to your drawing. So what I see here is that you've got long links of the running part of the cable, I mean, or whatever it's called, and you drop in these elements along the way. So today you can create links, right? And then come along and add those shapes in. Okay, it came in very large, but you see it snapped right there on the edge. And I could continue to add in those individual pieces to build up your final. So this should be what you've already experienced. What in the next version you'll do, and I'll flip over to that, is essentially instead of just picking wall, which I did here, and drawing a line, I would pick what I call a product, and I would start drawing, and it would show up as the green double line, and so forth. So I'm going to flip over to that to kind of show that workflow. Okay, so now I'm in my other account so I can show you what the app will be doing next month. So let's pretend that you have a PDF in the background. We don't worry about the fact that it's not here right now. The point is, you start out with something, you come into the app, you open on this, and I'm going to pick this one down here. Well, do I have a green one? I don't have a green one, but that's fine. I'm going to pick 4-inch discharge line. So as I drop that in, it's already chosen a color and other kind of visual styles for a line. In this case, in your case, right, you'd have the green double line that shows up. So by doing this, I'm already collecting information on it as well. So I can just draw out, based on that scaled drawing, you know, all the information that you want to put for this particular site. Right, so I've dropped in that track. And if I select it all, I can see that I'm at that number, that for the length, 23,885 milliliters. I mean, excuse me, millimeters. But I can also come up and look under what I call my takeoff, and I can see that same information. And based on that, I can put in pricing, or I can ask other questions or whatnot. So I can be building up that kind of material list as I go. Now, I don't have your shapes in this account, but we can talk about them as if we did. I have some of these equipment right here. And let's say that this W water heater guy is actually one of your pieces that you want to then drop on. So I snap it onto the line. Now if I come back up to that takeoff again, you can see that I've got a quantity of 1 of those. So as you're building that out, you're also building out that list. And how that's different from the current version is that in addition to having shapes with information, I can also draw those lines, and in your case, that track. So I'm going to stop here and send you this video.